What's going on, everyone, man? It's the Addict Show. We're back here. It's the first week we've been back of 2021. 22. We had to get that right. 22. It's been a little bit, man. How you doing, Hustle? How you doing?
Man, photo finish yet again. I kind of just walked through the door myself. Go ahead, time to, freshen up, brush my teeth, and, take care of some other things. But I'm good. I feel like my battery's been recharged. I ain't been here in like a month. What's been going on, man? It's been that long. It's really been that long. You watching YouTube right now?
No, I had to turn the TV off.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot it was completely on, man. I was sitting there and I was like, I hear something in the background, but what is it?
Oh, sir, I'm off in this. My camera's fine, but I mean, like, the box is off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Hold on, let me fix it. Maybe when you joined in, it made everyone bigger for some reason.
Very well could have. Hey, only on Xbox. I see you on there. What's going on, sir? Splendiferous. Outbreak
right,
podcast.
Should be
Hello.
Fixed now. It just take a couple seconds to get it off. What's going on, man? The chat. I sense the energy in the chat right now, man. It feels like when it comes to. I don't know why. Like, okay, first it wasn't too bad, but I don't know what it was. Hustle. I was in the hurry just to get like back to regular programming. If that makes sense to you, because it's just like after about like the 23rd, 24th, I'm like I just want to go ahead and just go back to regular programming. I don't know. You do something so long, you get so used to it. It kind of like feels weird when you take too much of a break from it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. You got a little restless. Me, myself, I've kind of enjoyed my break, and I got some special things coming starting next month on February 15th. We'll be back on Twitch. I kind of had alluded to some stuff, but I got a whole little rollout, whole little plan going. I feel good. And I enjoyed the time off, man. Just, I just with my people, with my family, play some games here and there. I didn't have a chance to catch up with you, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, it'll all work itself out, but I feel good. I feel like well-rested is the word. Like, I was, like, anticipating to doing this because, like, you hit me up. It's like, Hustle, we back on today. I'm like, all right. I'm thinking we're going to take the extended break like, like a Weapon Wheel or, all these other podcasts running around. But I saw ILP Sunday. What's up?
I hit you up, like, I think it was this morning or last night. And I was just, if you wasn't good, I was just going to come anyway, because I'm ready to get back to it, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I was so happy when IOP started Sunday, like, because after you put the roots to it and everything, man. After I took like my R&R, a dude was bored. A dude was mad.
Yeah, I feel you. I hear that. I hear that. And once we get back into the swing of things, I'm sure when another break comes up, yeah, I'll get like that too. But I saw you guys ILP every Sunday now at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time since everybody else is
time. The correct
oh man,
time.
here we go. Since everybody else's football teams are out of playoff contention. Shout out to Washington. Everybody else's teams are out of contention, so this back at 1 p.m. You guys had Mr. Boomstick on in ACG, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Yeah. So if
Pretty
you guys haven't
solid
seen
show,
that,
man.
oh, indeed, especially with those two gentlemen, especially with y'all four, man. So it is what it is, man. After this podcast, of course, you guys go back, check it out. Hey, before we get started, what games you been playing over the break?
Let me think. I played a lot of Halo, actually, like an excessive amount of Halo. But one thing I can say is, like, when it comes to like the break, I played a lot of Bravery Default. I've been playing an excessive amount of Oculus here lately. For those of you that don't know, I did just have a review go up on the IOP channel today. So definitely go check that out. To me, this is IOP Light. I respect that, man. I respect that. IOP Light.
I take that.
Yeah, because like we do keep a lot of the same rules of IOP. Because like I don't really cuss on here either. But I enjoy more of the dual aspect because I love IOP. But when you have four strong personalities on a podcast, sometimes I can't get my bars across, and that I have an ADHD matters. So that's why I interrupt a lot on IOP, and I'm trying to get better at it because my mind just wants to talk 24/7 if there's something I want to talk about. So I'm trying to get better on that because I know that's a huge feedback from people, and I've been working on it. I got the little raise hand thing, man. I got that going on. I'm trying, man. That's why that's why I like these two because it's just me and Hustle. We are gonna have throughout this year. We're gonna have a lot more high profile guests. Clearly. I've met people because of IOP, and a lot of them are very interested in coming on here and chatting it up with me and Hustle. So I got a few people lined up. People like Jeff Grubb. He said he'd come on here. ACG's gonna come on here eventually. Won't be in February. I could tell you that right now. I feel bad for that man in February.
I was about to say he got a whole lot of work ahead of him, man. He got it. He got it, man. Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Oh, wait. I know this isn't a topic, but just quick thoughts on the alleged leak of Horizon Zero Dawn 2. So apparently they did. Remember what happened with The Last of Us 2? How it leaked early, how like a build leaked early and somebody had put it out. They did the same thing. I'm not saying the same exact thing happened, but there is an early build of that complete version of that game out. So y'all be careful on Twitter and all the other social medias. I saw it on GameSpot this morning. Like as you sent me the topics, I want to tell you like 10 minutes later. That's when the alert came up on my phone through a GameSpot, the little GameSpot app. So y'all be careful, man. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm actually gonna play the first one starting Monday, so we're gonna see what it's hitting for. But man, I don't know. Just be careful if you are a fan of that game. Just be careful.
Yeah, so we could tackle a couple of the little stuff real quick. That's not on the agenda. Just a couple topics. We are talking about Halo Infinite and the crossplay thing because there's a lot of cheating going on, and I've seen petitions begging for the crossplay to be yanked. But let's talk about Halo real quick. Besides the crossplay,
okay,
I will say these cosmetics are getting a little out of hand. A little bit out of hand. How you feel about these?
Wait, is that a good out of hand or a bad out of hand?
Because out of hand.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. They need the little stupid cat ears. They need all that just to get like the casual.
I don't.
What you mean? What's up?
I don't mean like. I feel like some of them are just crazy priced.
Oh my God. Yeah. Don't pay for none of that. I understand they gotta make their money and stuff, but something on there was like super basic, and I think it was like $20. I'm good. Look. I just played a game to have fun. I bought one skin though. I bought the it's the Sentinel skin, I think, the Team Sentinel skin. Like I always use that one, so like I don't have like a need for the other ones. But let me ask you something, Audible, because pardon me, Addict. I know you've been playing that a lot more than me. I've been getting it in every so often. Is it easier with are the challenges easier? Because I thought they said they're gonna make adjustments to that.
They are easier. So,
are they offering the same cosmetics?
I haven't been playing it to that degree. But what I
Gotcha.
will say from what I've seen
Mm-hmm.
is it seems like they're getting better on that. Now, it looks like the reason we see what we're seeing now is because it does look like they're going towards more of a Destiny approach that's different. Like in
Mm.
Destiny, they have this place called Eververse, and you could buy stuff with Bright Dust or you could buy stuff with Silver. The only difference
Okay.
between Destiny and Halo right now is there's no Bright Dust option. There's no option where you can take an in-game currency that you earn throughout the months and you could buy something that you want in that shop, because it has two different shops. Like obviously the Bright Dust shop maybe 10, 15 things, but the
Mm-hmm.
Silver shop is pages long. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But the Bright Dust stuff eventually, as long as you have the Bright Dust, the Bright Dust isn't something that's mad easy to get, but if you play the game, you're gonna get Bright Dust. You can
Mm.
get pretty much anything you want in that store, as long as within reason. Like you don't go out and spend all the Bright Dust you have on dumb stuff, but you know you can eventually get the stuff that you need and the stuff that you
Mm.
want. Now, when I'm seeing Halo Infinite, I think they need something similar, where they need a store that's with in-game currency, and you get that currency way slower than anything else. Maybe you do the weekly challenges and you get a currency, and then what would happen is they'll rotate pretty much last season stuff onto that store, that Bright Dust store. So, for
Mm.
instance, let's say that they updated, 3 months ago. That was the last update for Destiny. Now you would start allow, since it's a new update and they put new stuff in the cosmetic store, you'll start seeing a lot of that old stuff that you wanted 3 months ago in that Bright Dust store. So that's
Mm.
how they do their stuff. Where it's not necessarily you could buy the new stuff for the most part. There are certain exceptions in Destiny, but for the most part, if you want something that's hot now, that's in that store now, you have to buy it now. But if you don't want
Mm.
to buy it now, you could wait a little bit. For instance, they have like a weekly thing where if you do all the weekly challenges, they give you something for free. I
Mhm.
would not be surprised in 3 or 4 months the bunny years is there. You know what I'm saying? Where if you do all the weekly challenges, you'll get that weekly reward, and it would be the bunny years. But I think it needs to be more than just one cosmetic. They need, maybe you do it once and they give you the option of three or something. You know what I'm saying? Where you could just pick one of them, because I do feel like right now, you, I will say we are starting to look different than other Spartans. You know what I'm saying? Like for the most part, a
Mhm.
lot of Spartans look different. Like Cognito got this like Ronin shown thing going on with the what's the rose petal stuff, and so
Oh,
like
really?
he looking like a Power Ranger to some point with the red. So we are having Spartans look different,
Mm.
but
Okay.
you got to pay that different money. So I understand
Yeah.
their concept, but I do feel like there needs to be a better middle ground. And I do think that they're going to work on that. And I think that that weekly challenge reward thing is how they're going to do it. And I think the only reason we're not seeing that is because we're only seeing what's here now. We're not seeing what that weekly system is going to do throughout the next couple months. Like, there's a weekly item every week. So if you keep getting that weekly item for the next couple months, that's going to be a
Mhm.
lot more stuff throughout the next couple months that you're going to have as long as you stay active in the game. And I think the issue is just there's not enough options with that weekly stuff.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Can we get into like the meat potatoes? At least this first one, the Halo Infinite. You know, Xbox fanboys, they crying about crossplay. Can we please get into that, please?
Yeah, we could talk about that now.
Thank you, sir. Listen. First and foremost, all right. If people are cheating on PC, all right, just put the little PC cheat thing in there like they do with Gears 5. Problem mostly solved, right? Mostly solved, I say. Stop crying so much. We want the option to take it off. Shut up. Shut up. Play the game with the PC, with your PC brethren. Microsoft wanted y'all to play the game with the PC people the whole time anyway. Now you got it. And hey, Addict, I don't know how long you've been around, but I remember when Xbox first got like the PC thing, it was like, oh, well, we want to play with PC. We want to play with PC. And a lot of people was like, a few people, PC people was like, nah, right? And then when they finally got what they're asking for, now they want to renege on it. They want to go back. I'm not rolling, man. I'm not rolling. All those bums on console, get good. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, I play on PC. This is how I get down. Look, I'm like a silver fool. Before y'all kill me in the comments, I'm a silver fool. I'm just talking shit. However, stop complaining so much. My first question to you is: have you experienced any type of cheating with the PC dudes online? That's my first question.
Okay, people.
Yes.
I have a completely different objective than Hustle is. Get them PC cheaters up out of there. Like let's get them up out of there, because I'm not gonna sit here and act like there ain't no cheating going on. Every time we let the PC people in the realm of fun, they mess it up. And I've gotten to the point where I'm about gatekeeping with PC gaming. Okay, I don't want that PC multiplayer nonsense in my games. Because every time we let them in the reindeer games, they be cheating. And it's like, man. Look, I get what you're saying. That, there are some that are really good that are being portrayed to be cheating. The problem is that's very far in between. When I get sniped, when I'm jumping up in the middle and I get no scope sniped from halfway across the map, I got an issue with that. When I get shot through walls, I got an issue with that. When someone literally kills six bullets in a sniper clip, and they get 6 kills, I got an issue with that. No one is that good in any game. Go look at pro circuits. They miss all the time.
Hey, I could contest that. I'm not going to. First of all, I don't think it's a PC thing. The reason why you guys are seeing so many cheaters. The reason why you guys are seeing so many cheaters, and PlayStation, they're going to have to deal with this too. It's because the game is free to play. Halo Infinite, as we all know, is free to play. It came out November 15th after the whole surprise reveal and everything. That's the reason why y'all seeing so many cheaters. Yes, sir. Yes.
So we do have examples of the cheating actually being proven. Warzone. Did they not disable crossplay for Sea of Thieves, Hustle?
Wait, did they? I don't play Sea of Thieves. You got to educate me. You got to educate me. Okay.
They did. All right. People were shooting from halfway across the sea in Sea of Thieves.
Wait, hold on. My fault. You said Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves, yes. There's mad cheating in what is that game? What's that game? What is that game? Fall. What's that game?
Fall Guys.
Fall Guys. There's mad cheating in that, and we can agree. I know you've seen that cheating before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We definitely saw some people fly across the map. They fixed it though. They fixed it.
But if people are willing to cheat in Fall Guys, what makes you think Halo off the limits?
Oh no, it's only because it's free to play. And also I read.
But I can't agree with that, because people are cheating in free to play games all the time.
Well, okay. Well, let me finish. They're not doing perma bans either, though. Microsoft, from what I've read, and Tim, I forget what the article was, but he's a reputable source. He's on Twitter all the time. His name is Tim, and I definitely forgot. But I read that article this morning. He was like, they're not doing perma bans, which is kind of odd to me. But if Microsoft got to implement that too, like they definitely got to like put their foot down in that regard. So anti-cheat that we see, we need perma bans. Like we need IP bans. And we need IP bans. Like they're not doing that. They banning people, yeah, but they just banning like the account. So with a free to play game, it's like a YouTube soccer account. That ain't nothing. Just for me to make another one, and I'll be right back at it.
I agree. So, well, you know how Destiny handled it. Because here's the thing: like the reason I'm zero tolerance thing when it comes to, maybe you've been in the cheating pool so long, Hustle, that you just see it all as one thing. Because when I was playing Destiny, it was real. It was real. And not only was people cheating, they were exploiting. And look, I'm not saying that every sniper that shoots a headshot is cheating. All I'm saying is there's enough of it going on that when I do get headshot, pulling out that magnifying glass, and you call me Sherlock addict, because I'm sitting here looking at the screen. That's like, is that genuine? Did he really get that sniper, or was there an aimbot helping him shoot my dome?
But addict. And I just want to let you and everybody else know. Y'all know Halo Infinite heavy on the aim assist. I don't even use mouse and keyboard I'm on PC, by the way. I don't even use mouse and keyboard, and I still be out there joint halfway beasting. The aim assist is super heavy, but I would love to see, because I haven't, in all seriousness, and we'll be just joking around and stuff, but I have not experienced a quote cheater yet. Like, I haven't seen it. I haven't even seen like footage online about it. I know that the people were making like Reddit posts and things of that nature, but maybe I wasn't looking hard enough either. But like every time I play, we play objective, and either we win or we lose, but it's never like a landslide thing. Yes, sir. Yes,
buddy. Don't make me go on YouTube and search Halo Infinite cheating confirmed. We will do that, Hustle.
Oh, man.
We'll have a show and tell and show everybody people's dirty laundry.
For the record, I don't like. I'm not cool with the cheating. All jokes aside, but they need to start doing perma bans. I haven't looked for it either.
The thing is about perma bans is I don't think that's going to do nothing because it is free to play. People, even if you IP ban people that are cheating, there's a lot of them are going to know how to get around that. There's ways to get around IP bans. I think
is it?
Yes, I think 343 is going to have to do 343 and Microsoft's going to have to do what Bungie and Destiny did, which is go after the people that are distributing the cheats. Like, you're going to have to pull up with some desists. You're going to have to pull up some lawsuits. You're going to have to make it clear. If the entire industry came together and they're like, if you sell cheats to my game, you going down. And if everyone did that, I'm confident the cheating will go drastically down. Because the problem is when you could go and buy a $45 aimbot, there's issues.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. Shout out to Blackmon over there at Weapon Wheel. Like, people do need to be held like legally like responsible at that point because they are costing Halo money. Like, we being real. I had a question though. I read in the article that I read was from The Verge, and it was Tom Warren who wrote that article. He stated in that article that Xbox they don't really give you a choice to crossplay, to turn off crossplay between like the PC gamers and the Xbox gamers. And at first with Battlefield 2042, PlayStation had that option to cut it off, and then like an outpouring came out from the Xbox counterpart, from the Xbox fans, and it was like they implemented it. And so I wonder what's going on behind the scenes to where they're forcing that, because like that's a little odd to me. I understand that they want to do
it's like
it.
An industry standards at this point, where it's like we're going to force everyone to play. I don't mind playing with the PlayStation peasants. I don't.
Oh, that's facts. Yeah.
I don't even mind playing with the Switch people.
Oh, that sounds fair. All right.
I do mind playing with the PC people, from a variety of different things. I think that, PvE content is fine. If we do Destiny raids, Destiny strikes, let the cheaters in there because they're going to be cheating for my benefit. But, I think, where do you think, Phil, if you're in a partied squad, let me handle this real quick because I keep getting. All right, so it's that one.
Right. Take it out.
I keep getting a bunch of like notifications, and I had to click it real quick to find out who is getting hit me with stuff over and over again. So how do you feel? Let's say that because they can prove what type of people are with you. So like if you're in a partied group, how do you feel about them banning the whole group? If you're in a party group and they know you're cheating, if me, you, Erica, and Merc are playing a game and I'm cheating away, and you guys know I'm cheating because you're in a partied group with me, and they catch me and they ban all of you too, how you feel about that?
I mean, I might have to take a drive down to, where you stay at that point. Cause that's wild. But it should be that way. If I know that, if I know that you cheating, then I off on my head as well, dog. Like it ain't no way around that.
So I think what it should do is I should get the perma ban and the other people should get a temp ban.
Yeah, I was like, because you raised a good point.
If you're playing with other people that are cheating, you should never get permanent ban. You should always get like a 2-day ban. But it should be one of those things where it's like, we're gonna punish you, but we know at the end of the day you can't control what that man's doing. But I do think there should be a point where they are getting some form of repercussions.
Yeah, 1000%. But I'll be real with you. If Microsoft, and I call it the quote unquote black bond approach, if Microsoft does decide to take like legal action, I mean, cheaters could run rampant. They're gonna have to make a big example out of somebody, and somebody gonna have to go down for that. Because like they're losing 343 at that point, and Microsoft will be losing, Xbox will be losing a lot of money. Like like I said, I'm not saying that people aren't cheating. Of course they are, and it's been confirmed in that article by The Verge too. Shout out to Tom Moore. But I'll just say this: if I'm playing, having a good time, and I run across a map, like I think it was in PUBG. I played PUBG at first. People was running around with no heads in PUBG, so you couldn't get a headshot with like a sniper rifle and all that. Addict, I'm not sure if you remember that, but that game was like super hot, and like they waited so long to fix the issue that it ended up falling off. Now Fortnite came in and did what it did, but that game ended up falling off for a myriad of reasons, and that was one of them. Cheaters running rampant was one of them, man. It was kind of like that in Gears 5 too, from what I remember. I have over 130 hours in that, and it was just, you could tell like when people was eating shots. And I had anti-cheat too, but like you could tell sometimes like certain things that were happening should not have been happening when I was running the multiplayer. But they gonna have to fix that. This game's been out what, 2 months, right? 3 months at the most? Yeah, about 3 months. About 3 months. I love the multiplayer. Like it's fun. It's super fun. It reminds me of Halo 3, but they gotta hurry up and fix that because I feel like it's gonna be we know it's gonna be like a long haul type of thing, but it's gonna have like ebbs and flows, and I don't want this game to turn into what Halo 5 turned into.
To be honest with you,
what's up?
I can never see it being truly fixed. It's always gonna be an issue, but my thing is like, I feel like the industry itself needs to do a better job. I know for a fact from people I've talked to that the reason a lot of multiplayer games gets delayed on PC so long is because like a lot of people in the industry feel like working in the PC community, and not necessarily like the players, but Steam, Epic Store, working developing a game with PC, because they don't have to worry about a closed ecosystem. They have to worry about a variety of different mechanical parts. Like a lot of developers and publishers find it as a headache. They do it because it's profitable. But that's why you see a lot of games delayed, because they don't see that PC port is, okay, we're not going to delay the game because at the end of the day, we know the bulk of our sales are probably going to come for the consoles. So they'll delay the PC port. They'll work whenever it works. So whenever we get that work. And sometimes companies like Ubisoft and Square Enix, they're like, you guys are just going to get what we give you. Like, we don't even care. If it runs, if we can get you past the title screen, I feel like we succeeded. So, and I feel like if the industry would take the PC cheating in terms of multiplayer more seriously, I can't imagine what it's like to be a primary PC gamer, because I tried it once and I did not have a good time. I'm huge Destiny fan, and the cheating on that is ridiculous also. Like, it's on another level. Like, you play Trials of Osiris, you're being cheated on. Point blank. There's no way around it. It's being cheated on. And I think that's the biggest issue I got with the whole matter, is like, I feel like that particular part needs to be fixed. But, anything, how would you handle it? Do you think there's a way to fix it?
I don't know. And thank God, because I'm not a dev. Like, well, I guess the first thing that I said was install anti-cheat. Let's see if you can cut most of that out. I don't really know how to go further beyond that, outside of like, hey, look, you got to start, IP banning a lot of them. Now, you say that there are ways around, around the IP ban, right? That's when you gotta get your lawyers on the phone. Microsoft lawyers, they strong as linebackers, boy. I tell you, they got to run down on them at that point, because at that point you got to make an example out of somebody, like whether it's a hefty fine, jail time, whatever it is, because like you're literally taking money out of a lot of people's pocket over there at 343 and Xbox. So I mean, I would had a team run down on them, hit them with so many litigations. Make them uncomfortable. We see Nintendo do it all the time, by the way. We see Nintendo do that all the time.
What's funny is no one messes with Nintendo.
I mean, they try. They get leaned on.
But my point is you don't see the type of stuff going on in PC that you see with Nintendo, because for the most part, there might be the little sprinkles of dumb people that will try to mess with Nintendo, but the smart people, the majority of people in the back, are like, let the pawns try to go after Nintendo, because we know they will bankrupt us. They don't care. And I feel like the industry needs to be that way with cheating, where it's like people are like, we're going to try to make money somewhere else, because if we try to make it through making cheating software, everyone will come after us and it'll be bank. The reason people do this because it makes financial sense. But after you take that financial sense out of the equation, everyone's gonna stop making cheat software. Sure, there will be stragglers that do it, but the problem is to take 80% of the cheating out of the field. I can deal with the 20.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that. And Addict, you said you can deal with the 20 until you encounter that 20, man. But nah, that's not cool, man. Don't cheat in the games. If you're a bum, just come on over here with me, man. We got enough room over here. It's cool. It's cool. Just have fun playing the game, man. That's it. That's it and that's all, man. Hey, Addict, real quick, before we transition on to the next topic, do you see is Halo Infinite an esport? That's my first question.
Yes.
Do you see this being put on ABC, NBC, or ABC, ESPN like Overwatch was?
Probably. It just depends on how well the pro circuit is structured. Actually, I got some friends in that scene. I might see if one or two of them will come on. I've always wondered how like the pro market's like funded, how the pro market is done, because I don't know nothing about that. But
well, I mean, if it's anything to go by, Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, apparently he has an esports team. So if you're wondering how certain things are getting funded, a lot of the billionaires are putting money into the esports scene. Which, real quick, by the way, shout out to Arena on G4. My first bit of like esports. That was like the first thing that I saw. 4v4, they was playing Counter-Strike, going all that. I wanted to take time to mention that because that was like my origins of watching like people compete on a video game for the very first time.
And I think people need to realize too that gaming has finally gotten to ESPN in general. Like I don't do the sports stuff, but I know for a fact while talking to friends that are in that scene that people didn't respect it like at all. Like especially like the sports people, they're like, it's not a contact sport. We're not going to cover it. But then you see people covering like, is it chess in like the Olympics or something like that?
Yes, chess is an Olympic sport. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't have no respect for that kind of opinion because at the same time, look, it might not be a contact sport, but if chess can get up in there, I can get up in there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
not me because I'm not all that, but let's get into. So we already destroyed one of the topics, man. I didn't even expect to talk about it that fast, but we're gonna talk about something that's kind of important to me. God, so I don't know if you saw this, but it was reported and rumored that it's a possibility Xbox doesn't get any Final Fantasy game going forward. Well, this generation. They didn't really say. Keep in mind, first off, chat, none of this is approved. None of this is locked in stone. But it is highly rumored, and I trust these. I do. That we're not going to get like huge Final Fantasy games going forward. Like people are like, oh, Addict, what about the Paradise game? What about it? That's not a Final Fantasy game. That's a spinoff. Like, man, I hate when people take the one thing and act like it applies to everything. Get over yourself. So look, only on Xbox. Who cares? Keep Final Fantasy. All right, Hustle. Let me talk to only on Xbox. Okay, hold up.
All right.
Only on Xbox. Hear me out. Only hear me out. This is the reason Final Fantasy is important. Because I say it's important. It's my franchise. Okay? I'm on Xbox. I want my Final Fantasy. I will go on top of the tallest mountains and scream this until it happens. At the end of the day, it's important, man. Let's be serious here. Let's be serious only on Xbox. The reason that it's important is because they've never really had a huge grasp on the JRPG market. And part of the reason for that is because when you don't get the top tier JRPGs and you're only getting like the middle tier to lower tier, how do you expect to like gravitate towards like a huge audience in that area? For instance, like I'm not a sports person, but imagine if PlayStation only got like Madden, like only got the sports games, and imagine if Xbox gets like the mid-tier sports games and like the what's that baseball game that people kept saying Xbox had for the longest time? Not
Ooh.
not the show, but it was like some indie sports game. So, or something like that. Like, imagine you don't get the Maddens, the 2Ks. Imagine if you got live instead of 2K.
Oh man.
And throughout the years, do you see people playing like on the actual Xbox brand? Do you see people actually investing time into a lot of those genres when they're not getting the best ones? Like, we don't get Final Fantasy, we don't get Persona. Up until recently, we didn't get Dragon Quest, which we got the last one, but it's debatable if we keep getting that. You know, up until recently, we get Yakuza. We got Like a Dragon, and I'm willing to come out of my thing and say Microsoft is working on it. But I personally feel, Hustle, and tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me am I bugging, Hustle. Tell me if I'm bugging. I personally feel like if Microsoft can't get their hands on Final Fantasy, they need to do something to make that up to their audience. They need to do something to establish that type of genre on something like Game Pass. Because keep in mind, at the end of the day, this is for Game Pass. You want diversity in Game Pass. And there's a lot of people that play JRPGs. Guess where they're playing at right now, Hustle? They're on PlayStation. Guess where they're trying to get people off of, Hustle? PlayStation. So it's just like that. That's my point. It's like, look, like if Microsoft can't get their hands on Final Fantasy, they need to be doing everything they can to bring Final Fantasy-like games to the platform. And at this point, because Sony's done such a good job at keeping Final Fantasy, they might need to pull out the paycheck and get some exclusive games on their platform. That's in Game Pass day and date.
You said might need to. No, that's what they daggone well better do. I'm gonna watch my language. That's what they better do. Square is like, they're a third party developer. Like I looked up like when you sent me this topic, I had to say, well, let's see how many Final Fantasy games came on Xbox. I see 13. I see 15. I see 10. I see 10-2. Which, hey, I think y'all should play that one. I see a ton of different games on this. I'm like, well, let's say they've had a relationship with them before. I wonder how much they sold. I guess that's my first question. My second comment, I guess, is Forspoken. Now, for those of you all who don't know, it's not a PS5 exclusive because it is on PC, but Xbox gamers probably won't see that game at all. By the look of things, so I looked up some research just to see if it was like a time thing. And Addict, you remember a little while ago, I forget what episode it was, but a little while ago, I said, damn, why we ain't seen Final Fantasy Remake on Xbox yet? And you had an answer, but not really, because none of us really knew. Yo, Square is
I literally told you it wasn't coming.
Yeah, hey, but look, I know what I'm told, and I know what went up. Didn't the Xbox version go for pre-order or something like that? Or maybe I'm thinking about something else.
I feel like sometimes those are mistakes. I don't know.
That's wild. That's why Square. Yeah, what's up?
I don't know how that stuff goes. I don't know how you mess up to that degree. I do know even if that is the case, there is a good, very solid possibility that at the end of the day was changed at the last minute, because we know games like The Outer Worlds, not The Outer Worlds, right? What is that game that everyone played? Came to Game Pass last year. Riders. What is it?
Outriders.
Chat, help me out, man. It came to Game Pass. It's published by Square Enix. It's a Destiny clone.
You talking about Outriders?
Outriders. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Outriders. All right. So we saw games like that get put in Game Pass at the last minute. So like deals can be made very close. Now, keep in mind that the Rise of the Tomb Raider, that was originally supposed to be a multi-plat. And then remember, Microsoft came in between that Gamescom and the next E3 and said, this is mine. Like, so, I mean, stuff can always be done. And, I feel like, to me, I don't think this is Microsoft's fault. I think at the end of the day, there is a relationship between Sony and Square Enix that Microsoft will never have.
Yeah, I'm agree with you 1,000% on that. And here's the thing: even though Square is back cool with Nintendo, just for a second, I want to take you all the way back. Maybe about 20, 25, 30 years ago, whatever. Final Fantasy VII should have been on the Nintendo 64, but Nintendo, in their archaic ways, came out with cartridges on the N64 as opposed to CDs, just because of like the fast and memory time, so on and so forth. We know how the rest of that story went. And PlayStation pretty much went on to be dominant because of, like, listen, if you had a PlayStation 1, it seemed like everybody I knew had Final Fantasy, and they weren't even into RPGs like that. I think they just saw like the little stuff in the magazine, but I knew like 7, 8 people with them joints, and let's just say 5 of them had it. Let's just say more than half of them had it, man. So that's like a tide that won't stop. That relationship is like super strong. Nah, Microsoft won't get that unless they offer an obscene amount of money. And the reason why they do that, like, hey, let's be real, Addict. You know, the Xbox audience, they're not really into that. They're not really into. I understand you got to be diverse, but they're not into that. Man.
But that's why I brought it up. You can't expect an audience to be into a certain type of game when we don't get that game. For instance, Kingdom Hearts 3, it sold okay, but it didn't sell amazing on the Xbox. Well, how did they expect it to sell amazing when the first 2 wasn't on the platform?
Hold on, let me respond to Mr. Clay Mudd in the chat. You got a good name, by the way. Hey man, you say you say you need Japan in that Square. I mean, well, obviously, right? But here's the thing: if Square went up for sale today, I bet you Microsoft would offer an obscene amount of money to get them. Like you like I would say like a Bethesda level, because Square puts out a lot of good content. There's a lot with that back catalog, and I don't want to talk about the acquisition stuff, but there's a whole lot to get with Square in particular, and that's a big deal. And you know, Addict, speaking of acquisitions, I know we was talking about that on one of the episodes before about different acquisitions, like a starting 5 and who would you take and this, that, and the third. It looks like Square is just gearing up to partner up with Sony. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like to me with the whole Final Fantasy VII thing. Kind of like really like just started that for me. But it looked like they're about to go home, man. They're about to go right on home, and you know what I mean, snuggle up next to Sony, man. That's what's about to happen. Snuggle up next to PlayStation, man. Jim Ryan about to be eating good over there. They're gonna get squared up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I give it about 3 years. If Forspoken doesn't do well and something may change behind the scenes, I think they acquire Square, because you know Microsoft they gonna want to buy and spree, like they get the platinum card and they just go right. I think we're gearing up to see that, and I think that's going to be a monumental like shift in like PlayStation's too, PlayStation sales rather.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
I agree, because I don't know. Like, what's interesting, if you look at the trends that's going on right now, you'll see that they're kind of pawning off the Western part of their company. They pawned off the Crystal Dynamic. They're doing a lot more in terms of focusing on the Eastern stuff they have going on for them. So like it's kind of interesting how they're doing that. Now I don't see Square being bought by Sony anytime soon, because I do feel like the Final Fantasy franchise is going to do enough to keep them afloat for going on out. But, who knows? Maybe leadership will change. I just don't know if Sony will be willing to put the kind of check out that would be required to buy Square Enix. Now, I'm not one of those people that says they don't have the money. They do have that money. But I don't know if they're willing to spend that kind of money. It's to purchase that company. Because keep in mind, it's easier for Microsoft to go to their investors and say, we need $7.5 billion to buy Bethesda, when they have that in cash. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's a lot harder to go to, because let's say $7.5 billion. If that flops, it's gonna hurt, but it's not the end of the world for Microsoft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy to hear you say that too. By the way, that's Jesus.
If Sony made that type of investment and it didn't pan out, that would hurt them. So it's not that they couldn't do it, and they can. And I would say at every company that could convince their investors to invest into something like that, it would be Sony. But it's just it's up in the air if that would ever happen.
I mean, look, the whole Xbox Final Fantasy, and this is a rumor, this is speculation on our part. This is kind of why we're all over the place with it. I don't think you guys get a Final Fantasy. I think the best place to play that will be on PlayStation. I think the best place to play that will be on PC. But it won't be on Xbox because it won't be there. It won't be on the Switch because it won't be there. Sorry. Square's just seem like
me, man. You killing
me. It just seemed like Square's they loyal. Like they said, nah, we want the Sony money. We don't want nothing. We want the Sony and this PC money. We don't want nothing else. That's how it seemed. When I first saw like all of that was going on, I was like, Like I said, I wanted to look just to see what different games that came over. If Microsoft ever does get like the Final Fantasy VII remakes, it'll probably be on the Xbox. What's this thing? Xbox Series Y or whatever. It'll be on the next gen. It'll be on the next generation. What's up?
Because I see only on Xbox people are saying we need Bethesda. We don't need that Japanese role playing games. Like, I agree with you. Bethesda's a huge advantage, and they have a huge pulse when it comes to the Western market. There's no denying that. But let me ask you guys a question. Wouldn't it be nice to be the place to go to play RPGs in general? Doesn't matter what type of RPG it is. And you don't even need to make sure, you don't even need to lock down exclusives on the Japanese market. You just got to make sure they come to your platform. Like, if you have all the Western market exclusive to your platform besides a couple studios that make very good games, but it's just not, they got Obsidian, Bethesda Software Studios, they got the people who are making Fable, they got Obsidian's making 2 games, they got a lot of, they got the people who make Wasteland, Exile Entertainment, they got a lot of people making those type of games. But my question to you is, if you're able to make sure that more games like Final Fantasy come to the platform, because I think Final Fantasy's out of the question now. But if you make more games like Final Fantasy come to the platform, and you're also getting those Western RPGs, your box is the only place to play RPGs at that point. You can't do that on on Sony, because you've already locked up half the companies that make those type of games. Does Microsoft own every RPG company? Of course not. But at the same time, you're going to want to be as diverse as possible, and there's a completely different section of RPGs than just Western RPGs. If you want Microsoft to do better worldwide, not just in the States. People always say Addict only matters when it's in America. To a point, I agree to, because we live in this country. So a lot of the stuff that happens, well, most of us live in this country. I know a lot of our fans come from America, but I know there are some around the world. But I'm speaking for the States right now, all right? So I can understand you have that mentality that you only care about sales and stuff that's coming from our states. But at the same time, Microsoft's never going to have a worldwide appeal unless they try to appeal to a worldwide audience. And right now, they're doing it, but they're not doing it enough. They need to make sure that they get these Final Fantasies on the platform. They get these Personas on the platform. Look at Game Pass. Game Pass is doing fantastic. You know what better? Game Pass with JRPGs in it. Sure, they have done good to get Final Fantasy games, but at the end of the day, they got Final Fantasy games that was damn near 10, 15 years old. You think they're going to do a whole lot? Imagine Persona 6 comes to Game Pass day and date.
Oh, that'll be legendary. Let me answer Splendiferous's question to me. Would I leave it multiplayer? I treat it like Minecraft and leave it multiplayer. That's just me. That's just me personally. You actually brought up a good point. And with everything that you were just saying, like, the way that you have to appeal to the Eastern audience is to pretty much have Eastern type games over there. Final Fantasy is the biggest one. It's pretty much the biggest, well, one of the biggest ones over there. That Dragon Quest, a lot of people were going crazy off a potential Chrono Trigger remake, which we didn't see. Or was it Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross? It was one of them Chrono games that a lot of people were speculating that we were to have seen at the Game Awards, but it didn't happen. But having those types of games over there, like, yeah, I get it. But if you're asking me, I'll leave that joint third party, man. Play that joint wherever, man. Watch that joint do numbers still.
See, the problem is it's not a third party. There is a lot of games that's just naturally being exclusive to the PlayStation platform. I don't know what's going on there. We could throw out assumptions all day, but I'm trying to stay away from the assumptions. We simply don't know why stuff's not coming to Xbox. I don't know if it's not that they're willing to sell it on the platform, or, there's a lot of speculation going on there. But ever since Game Pass came into fruition, that a lot of developers are holding their stuff off of the Xbox platform intentionally because they want that Game Pass bag down the road. I don't know if that's true. But I would say that is something that would make sense logically, but business wise, I don't know. I don't know about that. But no, Addict wants all of JRPGs on Game Pass, Clay Mud. That's not the case. I just want Microsoft to do better in that genre because I want Microsoft to succeed. For instance, they are not the place to play fighters. I don't play fighters. I don't care about fighters, but I know there's a lot of people that do care about fighters. They own one of the most profitable, not profitable, I don't know how well Killer Instinct did, but it was one of the most beloved fighters of last generation. And they still haven't done anything with that brand, with that franchise. There is no reason that we're sitting here with no Killer Instinct.
I got thoughts on that. For those of you all who don't know, well, if you follow me on Twitter, I just brought Capcom versus SNK 2. I'm playing that for the very first time. I played Capcom versus SNK 1 in the arcades back when I was a wee little lad, around 12, 13 years old, whatever. That to me, because Maximilian had actually worked on the first Killer Instinct. If I'm getting my facts right, which I got a feeling I am, because I remember him talking about it. I don't know why they haven't come out with the fighter of their own. Oh wait, Phil Spencer had said it in the interview. Somebody was like, "Hey, are you trying to get Street Fighter 6 exclusive to Xbox?" And he said, "No." Well, he said, "Why would I do that when we got Killer Instinct? So why would I do that?" Yeah. So yeah, and I know we kind of going off on a tangent. Cool. Let's talk this little KI talk right quick. They need to do something with this. Okay, cross it over with something else. You holler at Capcom or somebody else. You holler at whoever you need to go holler at, whether it's because everybody likes Mortal Kombat for some reason. I don't like them, but holler at Ed Boon and them and make something happen there. Killer Instinct versus Mortal Kombat or something like that. A lot of that other stuff could work. Like it really could work, man.
At this point, and I'm just throwing this out there. This is just me throwing this out there. At this point, I think that if they're not willing to do a Killer Instinct, because we saw in Killer Instinct they used a lot of their properties. They brought like Arbiter and stuff in there. Mm-hmm. Like reach out, if anything, you could talk to people that used to work with these companies that made these head-to-head fighters, that made these Marvel vs. Capcom games. Make you a new studio and have them make something like Killer Instinct, like versus something but you can do that's why I really wanted them to buy Warner Brothers, because I felt like Warner Brothers, I love Bethesda, I do, and I think Bethesda is a very company that appeals to me. But me personally, I felt like Warner Brothers completed Microsoft more than even Bethesda did. I think Bethesda is a good studio from the buy because they have some quality games off the bat. But I always felt like Warner Brothers was able to give Microsoft stuff that they didn't have. If they got NetherRealm, they could have them make a Killer Instinct. I think probably you would have a Killer Instinct versus Mortal Kombat first, or the other Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct. They probably would name it that. And then you could have Rocksteady make them a comic book hero game. You can, and you have some other stuff there, and you have the Lego franchise that they can keep throwing in Game Pass over and over again. I prefer Bethesda. I actually want to get technical. I prefer them both. Microsoft, go buy Warner Brothers. But I just feel like if they got Warner Brothers, I don't think they need to buy another company personally. I think they might need to get something in Japan, a studio or two in Japan. That's why I was so wanting them to get Sega, because if they got Sega, they would never have to invest into another company ever again. Because they would have the Japanese stuff with Sega, they would have the Western stuff with Bethesda, and they would have that bang bang shoot up stuff with their core studios.
Yeah, but the dream with Sega, in my humble opinion, is over. Because I got what I say. I bought the Sonic. Pardon me. I bought the Sonic collection, right? Sonic Mega Plus collection on the OG Xbox, right? I bring that up to say this. You can go on Steam right now and get all of Sega's older, like, Genesis titles. And the long and short of it is you can get them all for, like, $20 or whatever. I know people, got the thing about having Sega. I get it. Like, I 1,000% get it. But, that's just something that you can just let pass. Because Sega's going to be everywhere anyway. So that's just something that you can let pass. I want to take it back to the versus thing with Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct. Would be a very dope concept. certain studios or certain, I guess, organizations, they pull off fatalities in Mortal Kombat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you really want to see someone from the Killer Instinct, somebody from over there like get killed? Like if you have like a vested interest in that company, and I'm saying from just like from the business perspective, not from the fan perspective.
Yeah. I don't really necessarily play the Killer Instinct games. I played it a little bit, but there's like a wolf in there, like Cyber Wolf or Saber Wolf. I don't know his name.
Wolf, yeah.
We're gonna go with Saber Wolf because that sounds about right. I'm not saying that their franchise makes sense with fatalities, but I think that type of artwork and stuff they do, you could redirect some of the artwork, maybe put a little bit more gore in it, and they could do it if they wanted to. Like Injustice, I didn't think that made sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't see the DC universe ripping ripping Superman's brain out. You know what I'm saying? So like that was my thing when it comes to something like that. But I do understand that, what would be cool if Saberwolf bit off Scorpion's head. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Jesus.
but see, if you look at the characters, they could totally do that. Like,
for sure.
Imagine Saberwolf like jumps up, does like a front flip, and just bites straight through Scorpion, and he comes up and there's just blood on his teeth and it says fatality. You know what I'm saying? Like,
not to mention, they can, Mortal Kombat is famous or infamous for like the stage fatalities. Even like just going back and just looking at the old like Killer Instinct on the arcade and Super Nintendo. I mean, you can always make something happen from there. Shout out to Mooch in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all check out Crossfire every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. Y'all make sure y'all go check the Mooch out, man.
Yeah,
over on his channel.
Check out Mooch. Sometimes Mooch be a little extra, but he does have an entertaining show. And Mooch, sure. I will say one thing. Mooch has like the most desirable voice in this whole YouTube thing. I wish I sounded like Mooch sometimes, man, because that dude has like the best radio voice you'll ever hear. Like when you hear that, you feel like you would hear that type of voice driving like down the road on the radio. Like,
hey, so basically, Mooch, you heard him do an ASMR, man. Look, you got it, Mooch. Him and Fonzarelli has a really good speaking voice as well. I will give Fonzarelli his credit.
Fonz is pretty good too. We should probably get Fonz back on here eventually.
It would be nice.
All right, so let's go on to the meat and potatoes. I'm sure everyone here.
Hold on, Attic, before we
Yeah, I see it. We'll get to it in 1 second.
Okay.
Ubisoft and Xbox. We're going to talk about this, but let me get this super chat real quick. 5 super chat from Mr. Irishman. If Xbox is to get more Japanese support, they need to build their own Japanese studios or buy independent devs like From Software, Arc, SystemWorks, and Level 5. All right, we're gonna push the Ubisoft thing back a little bit more. Hustle. Tell me how bad it would be if Microsoft bought From Software.
Hey, well, as you know, Addict, I'm not a From Software guy. That's Mooch. That's Sin Vendetta. That's Erica. That's you. I'm good on that. I will promise you I'm good on that. But that would be one hell of an acquisition. And if you didn't have an Xbox before, whatever From Software is making after, what's this next one? What's the game American I'm trying to get me to play? Me, Baron, and Merc. I can't think of the name of it. Elden Ring. Elden Ring. All right, if Elden Ring hit, and I got a feeling it is, I mean, you can only imagine like a fever pitch like at that point. If it was only on Xbox, man, like that'd be crazy to me. But but they put their games everywhere anyway, don't they? Because I don't know what's up.
Isn't Arc System Works? Don't they do head-to-head fighter games? Isn't Arc the people who make Guilty Gear or some shit like that? I don't know. I don't know anything about head-to-head fighters. But see, I feel like they could make that if they had to. But I don't think it would be the right thing to do because I don't know. Sometimes I have a hard time like feeling like a studio could go a different art direction once they've shown me an art direction. If that makes sense to you, like I know they could do it, like logically and business wise they could do it, but my mind's like if they're doing these cartoony looks. I mean, Killer Instinct's a little cartoony. It is.
Well,
But more, yeah, I mean, maybe. I think, the part of me that wants them to do stuff that makes sense would want them to get that for Killer Instinct. But the messy part of me, the part that's important, wants them to pick up that From Software, man, because Hustle, how great of a day that would be on Twitter.
I'll just sit back and have my feet kicked up. Real quick, Arc Systems Works. Yes, they do make a Guilty Gear as well as a myriad of other. I love their art style, by the way. But they make a myriad of other titles as well.
That would work good for Killer Instinct. That type of gameplay.
The Guilty Gear stuff reminds me. I know we going a little long on this. It reminds me of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Not exactly, but like that hand drawn art style. But you had to draw shout out to them because don't you got to draw like different frames of animation just to make sure it's all fluid and everything, and that ain't exactly the easiest thing to do, by the way. I'm no animator under any circumstances, but this is why we'll probably never see another Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in that art style. Marvel versus Capcom versus SNK 1 and 2. You'll probably never see no other stuff like that because you got to draw every frame of animation. That is insane. I'll just say that. I'll just leave it at that. That is surely, that's madness. That is madness in this day and age. But yeah, man, I got you, Addict. But I mean, that'd be dope if, they pick them up. But hold on, real quick. Don't they have to have a presence in Japan before they can buy a Japan studio? Well, a studio from Japan, rather.
Tango Studios? You mean that company?
Okay, cool. So I wasn't familiar. That's why I was asking. So I had no idea.
Studios.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Part of me feels like that's a myth, but it's not a myth. I feel like there's like ways around that if people really truly wanted a company from Japan. I might have to really try to find someone that's in that scene, bring them on the show and tell me whether or not it's possible for a company like Microsoft to buy a company. Because I know Japan will buy stock in companies that's in Japan to make sure that there's no hostile takeovers. But I don't know if they do that with every company. And I don't know if the companies have to reach out to Japan to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe, I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to look into that. See if I can find someone that, could come in. Maybe Hogue would know something about that. I don't know. Maybe Hogue would know something about that. Might have to get Hogue on here, man. Might have to, we'll just get a bunch of myths that's lawyer-wise and just ask him a bunch of myths.
Indeed.
So all right, so let's Mr. Irishman definitely sidetracked the whole podcast for about 10 minutes, but that's okay. It was a good conversation. Let's talk about Ubisoft and Xbox. So I'm sure you saw a couple days ago that Ubisoft Plus is coming to Xbox, and they announced in the same tweet that Rainbow Six Extraction or Extinction or whatever the hell that game's called is going to be in Game Pass day and date. So the biggest question I have to you, Hustle.
All right.
The only question is, do you think this is the opening statements that they're going to have before they actually bring Ubisoft Plus to the Xbox platform?
Ubisoft's not coming over here. Or say here. Ubisoft is not coming over to the Xbox. They're not doing it. They actually put out another tweet because a lot of people was tweeting Rand and Jez's information that they was putting out there, as well as a few other bigger YouTubers and everything like that. Ubisoft came out, was like, hey, we see what y'all doing, but no, that's not going to happen. Ubisoft will remain its own company as far as the online services that they have. And I'll answer your question. Well, no, I'll answer your question with a question. Who asked for that? Because a lot of people didn't even want that game when it first came out, for the record. So I don't want to act excited for that. When I saw when I saw it, I said, nah, I'm good. I said, I'm all right. I threw my hands up because I remember that during E3. I said, nah, I'm good. I said, that's not for me. But no, that's not going to happen. And I'm interested to get your thoughts on it as well. But yeah, no, Ubisoft came out and shot that down. Did you not see that?
Ubisoft shot what down? Ubisoft Plus coming on to Game Pass?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
yeah, Ubisoft.
People shoot down stuff all the time. I'm not necessarily saying that, but I get that. But we literally have seen companies that's rumored to have been bought by Microsoft swear up and down that that's false. It's not happening. And 6 months later, they announce they've been bought by Microsoft. Like, when it comes to stuff like that, It's just PR speak. Like, I'm not saying that it's coming, and I don't think Ubisoft Plus is coming to Game Pass. But all I'm saying is, if it does, I can't go off their word. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't go off anyone's word because people are constantly shooting stuff down, and it happens anyway. So it's one of those things where I would have to just see if it comes out. Me personally, I feel like what we're gonna see is we're just gonna see more Ubisoft games in game day and date. I don't think it's gonna be all of them, and I think Ubisoft Plus. But I do think if Ubisoft feels like a game might misstep when it launches, that's going on Game Pass.
Oh, I'm looking at I'm on Ubisoft's website right now. They want $50 for this joint. Nah, buddy. It's supposed to come out on the 20th of this year too. So about a week and a half, whatever. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm playing it.
Hey, you know what's funny, Addict? I'm on their website now. I don't notice. I see a Windows icon and I see a Windows icon and I see a PlayStation icon, but I don't see an Xbox one, which is weird. Like, that's weird to me.
The only part that's weird to me is how willingly that they were putting, because we all know how PR is. These people sit in a room all day just thinking about what could go wrong. So it's just like, to me, why would you openly put in the same tweet that we're putting Ubisoft Plus onto the Xbox platform, which wasn't said it was coming to the PlayStation platform, let me add, and then in the same tweet say, oh yeah, and we're putting Extraction in Game Pass day and date. Like, did you see that working well for you, Hustle? Did you see people, like, let's be real here. Do you see a PR person that is in that profession and has been doing it for a while? There is no way none of them felt like, you know what, people might get the wrong impression.
Well, I'll say that this is the game that absolutely nobody asked for. Are you on Game Pass?
That's probably why it's in Game Pass.
yeah. I'm gonna keep it true with you. I think they saw the reception of how people kind of took that in because people are such big Siege players. When that happened, it just was like, all right, well, we'll just cut our losses here. Because, like I said, they wanted $50 for that. Anybody from the bad edge ring for no $50.
Yeah.
Not for
I think
not
if
50.
anything, if this game succeeds on any standard, it's because of Game Pass in Ubisoft Plus. I'm gonna try it because of Game Pass. I was not buying this game, but because it's in Game Pass, I might pull up and set up a chair. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that's PvE, right?
Yes, PvE.
PvE. All right, well, y'all can have a good time with that. Y'all let me know how that go, man.
So let me ask you a question.
Skip to me. Yeah, yes, sir.
Let's have an alternative universe. We'll call it the Addict world, okay? Let's have an alternative universe where I have put in writing that Ubisoft Plus is coming to Game Pass. How do you think that will work out? First off, I want to ask you do you think that the price for PlayStation for Game Pass would go up in 6 months?
Oh, for sure.
Or so what I want you to ask that, which you've already answered that, but you're going to answer it again because we're going to do all this together. And do you think that the reception for Game Pass would go higher because it's got Ubisoft in Game Pass Ultimate? And we got a $2 super chat from Flame. Even with Game Pass, I'm still not playing that trash. I appreciate it, Flame, but I will be playing that trash. Attic is in there. So what do you think, Hustle?
Yes. Now, I answered that question before, but it'll probably go up to, well, what do I pay now? It'll probably go up to $25. It'll probably be like a $10 increase, depending on where you go. If you're on Game Pass with PC like me, you probably just had to put up $20. The second part of that question, would it be more desirable? Yeah, would Game Pass be more desirable? Desirable for sure. Listen, I'm not a fan of Rainbow Six in particular. It's just not my thing for real. It might be a little too hardcore, but I may have to try Siege out just to see if I can get, just so I can get onto it. But let's see, Far Cry alone would be a lot for people. Let's see, they make Assassin's Creed. I'm just looking at a few of their games. One of my favorite games, which isn't on here, but they made a version of Tetris, which is the one that I said don't buy, but I love Tetris so much that I'll probably just buy it just for that. Tetris Ultimate was what they made. So that they have they definitely have a lot of franchises. I mean, people like Watch Dogs, just different games like that. So it's definitely a viable option. And that's really, that's why Ubisoft not going nowhere, because they know they got good titles. Those titles would have to sell abysmal on all platforms in order for that to happen. In order for all right, come on, let's let's just let Microsoft take the lead on this for Game Pass. They would have to perform abysmally, if that's a word. And if they ain't a word, I just made it up. What's up?
I feel like Game Pass Ultimate will go from 15 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Game Pass, the standard for $9.99 would stay $9.99. Because I feel like the only reason Ultimate would go up is because they would throw Ubisoft in there. I feel like Game Pass, they're going to want that to be as low as possible for an entry into Game Pass. And they're going to want, because people are going to look at $9.99 and jump in that because they feel comfortable with $9.99. And they're going to see something on there with Ultimate and then be willing to pay $10 extra and they get comfortable with that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see where there's a possibility where they raise 1 to 20 and 1 to 15. But I mean, let's hope that they don't raise Game Pass for probably another year and a half to 2. I think we'll get lucky if it's a year. 2, they're raising Game Pass by then. Like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much Microsoft's willing to take that hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much they're willing to take that hit in terms of not raising Game Pass just to be as valued as possible. And this is like my issue when it comes to this hustle. I don't know how you feel about it. Is I just want to see more of a diversity in Game Pass, and I feel like a lot of Ubisoft games would do that. It's no secret that Ubisoft is moving away from a lot of the traditional ways of making games, and they're making a lot more games that's games as a service. And I don't know how you feel about this, but if they do go through with this and they make more games as a service like they claim, I feel like they're more open to putting stuff on Game Pass because they're going to make more money in the long run than just that $50, $60, $70 they're going to lose at the opening front.
Yeah, if this helps PlayStation Now get their services in order, which I hope it does, I hope iron will sharpen iron in this case, then I kind of want Square to go over there. But I don't think they will. I'm keeping it true with you, dog. I don't. There isn't a thought in my mind. Like, those games would have to sell poorly, like extremely poorly, for them not to even make a thing. And I'll be real with you. If Ubisoft did go over there, one of the games that I'm playing, one of my most anticipated games, which it might be Vaporware at this point, but it's Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's what I'm kind of waiting on from Ubisoft.
That's
boy, that joint like the Detox album, man. That joint ain't never coming out. It ain't never coming out. That's bad.
I don't think there's a whole lot we could talk about the Ubisoft thing, but I do want to talk about one thing real quick before we leave.
What's up?
There is a lot of numbers coming out there that happened today on saying that Microsoft went over 10 million units between their platforms. Yeah. Now, it's debatable where PlayStation is. Now, a lot of people are trying to say they're like 1 million apart. That's incorrect. I would say, if anything, they're like 5 to 6 million apart. But the fact that they came from the Xbox One generation and they're going over into this, and it's debatable with their 5 to 10 million units apart. Like, that's not a lot at all, considering how much of a dominance that Sony was having on them, like all last generation. And now you have a scenario where we're, a year and a couple months or a couple days past the year point with these consoles, and they're only 5 to 10 million units apart from each other. And that's insane, because I thought the way things were last year, that last generation, that you would think that the dominance would be double that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would be at 20, 25 million, and Xbox is barely struggling to get past 10.
So I want to dispel like a part of that. From the research that I did earlier today, they said they just shipped around 12 million. They didn't say what they sold. I do want to put that out there first. I'm not saying that they didn't sell, because they probably moved about 10 million. We being real, they probably moved around 10. And that whole having a console for $300, it's the Xbox Series S, which is the most common one. Enjoy $300. That's cool. Like, to me, and like I don't even necessarily need one, but if I wanted to have an Xbox, if I wanted to get my foot in the door, because I have a PC, but if I wanted to get my foot in the door, it's $300. Like, and there's a lot of value with Game Pass, so there's a lot of that going on. I want to see more information first before I really make a statement on that. And I only say that because, yeah, last generation, we saw, Microsoft pretty much got curb stomped by the competition. Like, we being real. PlayStation and Nintendo, for that matter. PlayStation and Nintendo. But it's just good to see that Microsoft just has, like, a fighting chance. Now, they said they moved 12 million, but I saw somewhere that they said they shipped 12 million, that sold 12 million.
Yeah, but at this point, the way things are going, because the way I was described, they're making more X's than there are S's at this point. And they're selling X's like crazy, and I don't see many S's. Now, I know there are parts in the world where there are S's on shelves and stuff, or people coming to Walmart or some kind of retail like Target, and they literally just stalked and they take a picture and say, look at all these sitting there, because for every picture I could show you with a bunch of Xbox S's and X's on a shelf, I could show you one with PS5s on a shelf, because it's not hard for an employee to take a picture of a shelf right when they're stalked. I'm not saying that that's what's going on, but I'm saying that these consoles are selling. The majority of them are. Maybe a little bit of the S's sit on the shelves for a little bit, but talking to people I know in retail, they're all going. All of them. They're not sitting there. I mean, Oculus outsold them both, and part of that reason is because no one else could buy anything else. But I digress. I'm not going to argue with that. So, Hustle, what are you going to be doing later on this week? You said you were coming back to Twitch, man. Tell them what you're doing, man, so they know where to find you at.
Well, I will be playing more than likely. What's Monday? Next Monday. More than likely, I will be playing Horizon Zero Dawn, because the second one comes out next month. But you can find me at twitch.tv/hustle.
That's weird, because I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn on Twitch too.
Oh man, that's too perfect. I'm playing a lot of retro games too. I don't feel like lifting this up. Just know that I have a Super Nintendo, Super NT, which 8BitDo was there for. I do have a Nintendo 64, and I recently just made a purchase of a Retro Tank 5. Real quick, what a Retro Tank 5 does is that it upscales all of those consoles, which had like 240p, 360 resolution, upscales to the 1080p so it can look nice and, HD-ish, right? Or HD-like. It doesn't improve the graphics or anything, but I don't have to like stretch the picture out or anything. So I will be back on the retro games. Like I mentioned what I brought earlier with the Sonic collection and the Atari collection. And yeah, I look forward to playing stuff like this. NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I look forward to really getting back in my bag in February for all of my like new stuff that I got coming. I got some other shows coming around the corner too. I'm not going to speak on them yet because actually, Addict, as we were talking, my artist had went ahead and DM me too. So I definitely got a lot going on. I'm not going to leave or nothing. I'm just going to work through the whole thing. I'm just going to work. That's all.
And I definitely understand. Definitely follow the Iron Lords Podcast Twitch channel. I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn on there against my better judgment. Never played it. It's coming out next month because I do want to review the next one next month, and I feel like I got to play the first one. So definitely go over there and follow that the Iron Lords Podcast Twitch channel. I'll be going live tomorrow at 5 to 6 p.m. I know I'm giving you a duration. You're gonna have to work with me, man. I gotta fit the Twitch thing in my life, and it's taking some adjustment. But you gotta work with me with that. But I appreciate everyone coming through. We definitely tune into the Iron Lords Podcast this 1 p.m. Let me look what our guest is. I'm not going to say it, obviously, but I'm kind of curious what our guest is next week. Oh, okay. I know who it is, but I'm not allowed to say it. So it's going to be a good show, man. It's going to be a new person, so I will say that. They've never been on the podcast before. But I appreciate everyone coming through. This Gaming Addict and Hustle and Motivate. Definitely, we will catch you